Today, I'm recreating this iconic panel from the Akira manga. Tetsuo just chillin' on some rubble. It's a perfect test for my new pipeline, which you can learn more about if you want to and see how I've been developing it over on my Patreon. I know exactly what character and pose I need, so I'm starting with Make Human. It's actually a Blender add-on called MPFB, which stands for Make Human Plugin for Blender. It's a confusing name, I know, but that's what you'll want to search for in the Blender extensions platform. This add-on is completely free and it's honestly incredible. You can download tons of texture and clothing packs right from their website. And for what I need, like no extreme close-ups, just a rigged figure I can dress and animate, it's absolutely perfect. It has all your standard character creator features, plus it generates a Rigify rig on top of that. Now here's the important part. Before I start posing, I set a keyframe with the character in an A pose for a few seconds, then animate the transition into the final pose. This is because I'll be bringing this nude figure into Marvelous Designer later for clothing simulation. Luckily, the manga shows Tetsuo's pose from multiple angles, which really helps with the 3D positioning. The Rigify rig also makes posing incredibly smooth. I'm honestly constantly amazed by the powerful add-ons that come with Blender. The posing process is pretty straightforward. Check the reference, tweak the rig joints, repeat. The key thing is constantly checking the animation playback. If a hand clips through a leg, I make adjustments and add keyframes. I need to avoid any intersecting body parts because that'll completely break the cloth simulation later. For the environment, I'm using assets from Big Medium Small's Apocalypse pack because it just pretty much has everything I need for this shot. Next, I export the figure as an Alembic file, which captures the entire animation transition. Then I import that same file into Marvelous Designer. I actually already created Tetsuo's basic shirt and pants outfit for an earlier render, so I'll just import those same garments. I reset the garments and position all the pieces around my new model. It gets a bit finicky since all the pieces are stitching together simultaneously, but Marvelous isn't putting up much of a fight. I can pull the pieces into place and re-simulate. Once the clothes are simulated and sitting properly on the body, I apply a custom preset I made that gives them a loose cotton material feel. Then I record the animation as he transitions into the desired pose. At this point, I realize I need to add a cape. Since it mainly needs to cover his right side and just hang off of his back, I keep it simple. I just make a long rectangle, cut a hole out for his head, and simulate it draped over. I give it a thicker canvas type material with high friction so that it doesn't slide off as much. Once everything is simulated and looking good, I export it as an Alembic file again and import that back into Blender. When I import the posed clothing back into Blender, it automatically covers my character perfectly. I apply a standard skin texture, one from the downloaded MPFB asset packs. So now I have my pillar asset, posed character, and their clothing. First thing I want to do is add hair to this character. The MPFB asset packs do include hair, but it's pretty low quality for what I'm going for. Instead, I grab one of the Tokyo characters from another Big Medium Small pack and just use that character's entire head and hair. It looks instantly better and it's much faster than trying to fix the original hair. I just need to apply all the shape keys and rig modifiers to the body first, so that I can delete the old head geometry without breaking anything. I also tint the skin texture to match the newly added head. Finally, I texture the cape and clothing using free materials from Polyhaven. There's an affiliate link to their add-on down below if you want to help both of us out. For the fabric, I use their standard fabric material, but keep everything except the color map. Instead, I use the color map from their leather material and run that white color through a mix node to turn it red. I duplicate the setup, rename it, and turn it light blue for the clothing. I think I also give it a solidify modifier to add a little bit of thickness to the fabric. I realized that there's one asset I don't have, and that is the moon for the background. Lucky for us, NASA usually has a bunch of free 3D models of planets and moons available for download. I find this excellent 3D printable file for the moon, which works perfectly. The surface details are actually exaggerated, and that works to my advantage because the lighting looks even better with those enhanced features. Once I have it imported, that's the first thing I focus on lighting as I move into the environment lighting stage. If you've seen my videos before, you know my lighting process well. But for newcomers, I keep the background light as a dim emission color that serves as general ambient lighting. That color might change as I refine things as well. As I mentioned, I start with the moon, mimicking that crescent lighting with 2 skinny area lights. Then I add one big area light underneath Tetsuo and the pillars. This is when I also add a volume cube. And by the way, volume lighting has gotten insanely better in Eevee. It's actually faster than Cycles now, which is notoriously slow with volumetrics. Adding the volume is also when I start to really see everything come together. I want Tetsuo mostly in shadow and plan to use more area lights to enhance that foreground, middle ground, and background separation. I adjust the volume scatter color to get a nice orangey wash over the whole scene. That'll be my base color for everything else. From here, I don't have too much from the manga since it doesn't really show directional or color lighting, so I just create my own rules. 1. Keep Tetsuo mostly in shadow. 2. Use rim lighting and smaller lights to create layer separation. And 3. Use objects and lighting to create depth and enhance that parallax effect. I use Eevee's lighting settings to control the influence type, angle, intensity, color, and distance for each light. I'm going for that stereotypical red, orange, and blue combo, blue from the moon and above, and orange from below. I also have this shot from the anime in my head that follows a similar color palette. Before I even get halfway through the lighting though, I start animating. Since the original panel isn't in motion, I'm taking some artistic liberties with how I imagine this shot would be revealed in a movie. First, I animate a simple camera orbit from left to right, then figure out the correct parallax path for nearby pillars to make them feel properly distant from Tetsuo. I also add another pillar way up close to the camera, away from the light. This adds depth, parallax, and acts almost like a curtain being pulled to reveal our scene. You've probably seen this effect done in movies before. I jump into the compositor for a quick sec to add a slight bloom to give it that anime glow. At this point, the scene is set. Now I want to add some subtle animations to the hair and cape using my handy displacement empty trick. You can see more in depth how this effect is done in this video. I give both the hair and the cape a slight wave. For the cape, I restrict the movement to just the bottom using a weight painted gradient. For the final version, I added a few more area lights, more blue coming from above and behind Tetsuo. I also threw in this broken crane asset, specifically because I think it widens the shot and makes it work much better for the wide format you're seeing here. And that's the final result. If you want to see more of my work, follow me on Instagram, and if you're interested in supporting and diving deeper, consider joining my Patreon like these lovely people here. You can download 4K wallpapers of this render, watch the full unedited process, and get access to much more exclusive content. Thanks for watching. Peace.